Welcome to Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444. I am Gat, your host. This will be a really compatibility natal charts analysis. Some might say twin flames natal charts analysis, but we'll take a look either way. All right, to the left is a person who requested this. When you go right into her first house, and actually made it her first house, is Libra. But when you go right across, you see that Mars right there and Aries. So definitely going to be relationship drama. There's no way you're going to get past it. And if you look right there, 28, 29, wow. Wow. So relationship drama, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And even that's where True North Node is. That's crazy. So, because I know her, so I knew there was drama. It's been a long time. So it's on the natal chart, and she knows about the priestess. See, because Vesta, let's go to her seventh house real quick, because this is all about relationship. Uh, in her first house, that should be IM. So you really want Aries in the first house, because Aries rules the first house. It's supposed to be IM in the first house, but in the seventh house, it's supposed to be we aura, because it's about relationships. So Libra should be over there. So it's almost backwards. So where she should be saying I am, she's actually looking for the we are. So it's not really going to work because it's backwards. And then when she should be saying we are, here comes Aries aggression saying, no, me. All right. So immediately True North Node, and Vesta is the fire, but she's the priestess. Now Vesta can be a sexual priestess, but Vesta can also be just a priestess. It just depends. But there's a lot of fire in her seventh house. So this is going to be blazing fire. She's got the fire Vesta. And Vesta can be, this is where you got to calm down or you'll burn yourself out or have health problems. And that's the vertex. Now the vertex is where you'll meet someone, and it's 29, 21. It's almost like 11, 11. Two ones is 11, 29 is 11. But this is where you're going to meet someone who could be your soulmate. That's anybody in your soul group, but you're still a soulmate. Or your twin soul, who is your twin flame. Same soul, different body. A soulmate is just anybody in your soul group. Well, Mars is there. So whatever's going on, it's going to be fiery. And see, 28 degrees, 29 degrees can mean a lot. And it can mean drug abuse, alcoholic abuse. And we did this chart before. We did come up with past life abuses of chemicals. But that is the True North Node. So True North Node, which is like your life purpose, a lot of aggression in relationships, but this is not, when you got Mars and all that, it could actually be very dangerous. And as you can see, it's opposing relationships, the challenges. Now her moon sign, like I said, moon sign, that's going to be your emotions, internal you, the divine feminine, things that are internally subconscious, things that are hidden. So it's going to be her ascendant as well, Libra. So she desires that relationship, but it's almost like idealism, too much fantasy. And see, that could be, a lot of Libras, they're very idealistic. But then when they see their mates' flaws, when reality starts to bust the bubbles of idealism, they pull back, they withdraw. And the person, their mate, or whoever they're in a relationship with, they might not even know what's going on. So in all fairness, it's kind of good that once you're sure that's how you feel, to kind of somehow let that person know. Because how would they know? How would they know what to work on and change? And a lot of times people say, well, they should know. And maybe they should, who knows? But I tend to say everybody's not a psychic. Sometimes people know, but they're just not sure. And that's why I say anybody, if you're in a situation where you kind of think something's a feelings there and not, you can, because that's something a lot of females don't do, but some females do. But some females don't because they just feel a guy should come up to them and all that. But sometimes he doesn't know. He's not sure. And he might have been through some situation, so he's a little reluctant. So sometimes you could kind of come up to him and say, "Hi, how was your day?" and stuff like that, or something. Because he sees you make an effort to talk, which is going to encourage him if he's interested to make more of an effort to talk to you. So it is things you can do, but it shouldn't. But what I try to tell females, try to make it specific, because you guys are smart. You females are smart. You can make it in specific and still keep that air of mystery that I know you want to have. Because I think that you're walking in front of a guy and you drop something, and he might pick it up and give it to you. Okay, that's one way to get a breakthrough in a conversation, but that does not necessarily mean you're thinking about him a certain way. But when you actually go up to him or something, or strike up even a brief conversation, then he kind of knows that, hey, I think she's kind of interested in me. And some people say, well, I don't want him to get a big head. And that's kind of true too. Like I said, use your intuition, feel it out. But I just think a lot of times it's too much, not really letting the guy know. And then. And some females say, well, one minute this guy's showing me interest, and then he just cools off for some strange reason. And it kind of bothers her a little bit. Like, why did they? And she'll act like it doesn't bother her, but it does. But the reason why, I'm not saying this is the case always, but sometimes because he doesn't know where to go. Because he knows he felt it, you felt it, and you both know it, but he doesn't know where to go. And you're saying, why doesn't he follow? But he doesn't know. Does he? Any guy that's been in bad relationships and stuff, he probably doesn't. Or some people think things out. It could be a lot of reasons why. Financial reasons, age reasons, a whole lot of stuff. Or he says, I don't want to walk up to someone, I'm going to start liking them and then find out they're in a relationship with somebody. Because a lot of people like to cheat and fool around, but some people don't do that. And some people are more serious minded, which, as long as you're not rigid, I don't really see anything wrong with being serious minded. But we just live in a time period where, people don't want you to be serious minded or whatever. And that's why a lot of people have so called affairs at work, as long as it doesn't, infringe. Hey, I'll sleep with you and do whatever you want as long as you don't infringe on me and my boyfriend, or I'll do it as long as it doesn't infringe with me and my girlfriend. So a lot of people aren't into that. Some are, some aren't. And then some people just don't want the drama at work because they feel if I do go up to this person and then they blow me off, everybody's gonna know at my job. So that's one of the reasons why. So that's why I said the guy just it's just easier for the guy to say he's not playing with your emotions. But even if you were to study, it's usually the females. You guys tend to, even if you study nature, you guys are usually the ones with the mind games and all that. And that makes the guy kind of afraid to approach you. So that's why I would say try not to do that. Like, be well intent. And as a female, like, just try it. Try like 2 times maybe, no more than three. But I would go for three. You know, just use common sense. Like, you won't want to be stalky, but it's 5 days in. Say if you work 5 days a week, okay, so that's three opportunities you have. And then if he's still not trying to come around you or go out of his way, because I think he will start pursuing you if he thinks you're interested. But you know, for those reasons I just gave, so hopefully that'll help some people. Now give me a moment, because then we're gonna go back to the chart. All right. So that's the first house and the seventh house, which seem to be possibly the most important locations on the chart so far, but we may find more. Second house, Pluto retrograde, but that's in the money sector. So something, Pluto retrograde means something is going to be taken away so that you can grow. And what I'm going to do, because I know when I first did your natal chart, I sent you the full free report, but it's probably been updated. So I'm just going to send you a report because it talks about the eighth house. Because people should get really familiar with the eighth house when you have Scorpio on your chart and stuff like that. I mean, and see, that's significant. Plus, see, that's the reason why. See, your second house is supposed to be your money, but this is other people's money. So that could be a problem too, and that could become a legal problem if you're not careful, especially with Pluto retrograde. Because what's going to be taken away? Second house is money, possessions, and your value system. So what is Pluto going to take away in those areas? And Pluto in Scorpio, of course, means great transformation. And these, because I just did a Pluto, I told you these things come in batches, these natal chart requests. I just did a Pluto in Scorpio and said they really are here to transform and change. And just like she told me, she resonates with the Warrior movie. Well, the truth about the Warrior movie, warriors come out to play the warriors. That's all about. They even show you Cyrus. That's the liberation of the real people. That's why dealing with gangs, which are tribes, and we're at that point right now. That's why I try to tell people, and they get mad at me, but I say wake up, because they'll be exactly where the universe wants them to be, but they'll get the wrong perception. And that's why I say sometimes you have to dig deeper. And that's why I told people, check out David Voss when he talked about astrology and all that stuff. He was showing you in the Bible and all this stuff. Because out of nowhere, he starts talking about twin flames. So that's what I try to tell people. The whole twin flames, it fits in the Bible prophecy at the end. And he kind of knew that. So that's on David Voss, DavidVose. And Palace just helps the person see things very well. So that second house you have to be careful of because you're dealing with Scorpio, eighth house stuff. Your second house is your eighth house. And when you look at your eighth house real quick, same thing. Now see, that's Taurus. So that means now it's your money and shared resources. So I don't know if that's true, but I just hope you're not allowing people to manipulate you, because that's kind of like, just your money's getting tied up with other people's money and stuff like that, and then where it should be your money, other people are there. So that's not cool. And then even the relationship is backwards as well, because where it should be I am, it's we are, and then where it should be we are, it's I am. So that's kind of like a person who tried to, like a person really wanted to be in a relationship, but it didn't work out, or maybe it didn't work out 2 or 3 times, and now they say, oh, it's all about me. So every time they meet somebody, they kind of push their will, even though it's supposed to be we are, but they're more like, no, I'm not doing it because that happened to me. See, that's what happened to John Cena. He messed up doing that I am when it should have been a relationship, and he based that on a prior relationship, and now she doesn't really want to be with him like that no more. So he messed her up. She waited on him and everything, and wanted to have children with him. He messed that all up. And then he tried to get it back, but now she doesn't want it like that no more. So that's what happens here in third dimensional. I talk a lot about that in my previous video that should come out before this one on the channel Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444. So before I forget, I want to get this natal chart and put it in this folder so I know to send it to her. I mean, not the natal chart, but the natal report. Give me a moment. All right. Third house. Okay, a lot of Uranus battling Saturn. So this person is capable of changing. Sagittarius is the higher self, a little bit more maturity. A little bit more maturity there with Sagittarius in the third house, which is ruled by Gemini. Second house ruled by Taurus. First house ruled by Aries. So this person is good with publishing because both Sagittarius and Gemini can be publishing. Just a little maturity. The third house is usually brothers and siblings, um, young ones, or just immature people. The people around you, the environment around you, the brotherhood. It's also publishing. It's also creativity. So this person is probably very creative, but it's dealing with higher philosophies, culture, like a higher way or more mature way of looking at life. Sagittarius rules the ninth house. It's also a healer, but it can deal with higher laws, higher courts, in-laws as well. So there might be something about in-laws there in the third house. But Saturn is going to try to standardize everything, set order, but Uranus is going to oppose it. So this person may switch back and forth in these areas. But you have Keras there, the nurturer at 22, and Sagittarius. So it may be needed that she be that way for whoever she's going to be healing. All right, give me one moment because I have to upload something. So just give me a moment to upload it, and then we'll be continuing. All right. All right, now give me one more moment. I'll look over here. Just give me a moment. I'm looking for one thing. Just can't seem to find it. It's right place. Yeah, all right. Break it down. All right. Give me a break. Give me a break. So, well, at least he's cool enough to ask for forgiveness, because people have been just losing their minds lately. What is it? Wait, hold up. This whole computer just wilding. All right. I'll be right back. It's not that I was looking for somebody to say forgive me. That's why it shocked me. So I got to address this. I'll be right back. All right. Now, let me make sure I'm at where I need to be at. Give me one more moment because I got to shoot this over to somebody. I'm hoping I can find it quickly. Yep. All right. All right. Still looking around. Just got to pull something else up. Because I really don't want to hit pause, so just bear with me. All right, come on, man. Just bear with me, y'all. Patience is a good thing. I was just studying how important patience is because I know in third dimensional, very few people have it. But unfortunately, patience can really change a whole lot of stuff. Because at the end of the day, no matter how tough you are, how aggressive you are, if it's not meant to happen, it's not going to happen anyway. And if God's protecting you, no matter what people do, they're not going to win. So it is what it is. But if you get scared, it shows you don't have faith in God. That's why sometimes you just have that patience, no matter what. All right, I got to do one more thing here. Actually, like. Come on, get. Nah, I need it. All right, come on, come on, come on. What happened? What happened? It's just one of those days, y'all. Every time I try to make a move, it makes another move. All right, we're almost out of here. All right, come on, come on. It was fun. See, everybody hates this guy, this prophet, but every time he tell me something, it comes true. That's why I'm starting to get more and more mad with people. Because I see too much confirmations, and I just don't have time anymore. Like, my life is so freaking hectic. I just don't have time for the silly stuff no more. And I don't mean to offend anybody. I really don't. I'm talking about for the prophetic people. I'm not talking about for everybody. Everybody's not prophetic. Everybody doesn't profess to know God and all that stuff. So I'm not talking to those people because they don't know. I'm talking to the ones that know. All right. Now, let's go back. Now we're finally back to where we should be. All right, back at the natal chart. All right. Now, when you have Capricorn, now we're in the 4th house, but you got love there too. So when you have Capricorn in the 4th house, this could be a family business, but it can also be some type of old soul stuff going on. This can also be some type of disciplinarian, because see, Saturn rules Capricorn, so there's going to be a form of seriousness or rigidness there. But now Neptune's there with Venus. Neptune likes to break down walls. Neptune in Capricorn is capitalism telling communism, hey, we got to break your wall down. And then the idealism, because Neptune is a deceiver. With idealism, because life isn't perfect. So Neptune deceives you, comes through your dreams, works with Pisces. So Neptune is also directing her 12th house. And sometimes when you're dealing with twin souls, twin flames, sometimes the 4th house could be your twin flame, twin soul, could be. But this is some type of Capricornian thing, and it's an old soul as well, meaning they've lived before. But it's love there as well. But there's going to be some type of attempt to break down a wall, whether it's her wall or his wall, but some wall. Like Capricorn represents a wall that this Neptune's challenging, trying to break down. And then Venus is kind of like with it. Venus is kind of like saying, hey, let's love. Let's have fun. What about love? What about beauty? What about diplomacy? What about fun? What about finances? What about just getting out and dancing? So she's kind of challenging that Capricorn too. Somebody else might say, well, Venus in Capricorn just means, well, I want to be in love, but I just want it to be serious. Because you got Juno right there. But see, Juno's leaving. Juno's not in that house. It just looks like it is. Now, you can say, well, can't you share the energy? You can. I know I used to, if it was on the border like that, but 0 degrees is almost like saying 1 degree. So it's almost like Juno is saying that something has to happen there first with that wall coming down or whatever's going on before they can get to this love. But the love is Aquarius. So as soon as I said that, I looked at his chart to see where Aquarius was, to see what was going on over there. So Aquarius love is a person who'll try all kind of different types of love. I just did that, I think, on the last chart I just did. But Aquarius, see, this is the 5th house of romance and travel, childlike ways, love, but not necessarily serious love, but love, fun, creativity. But Aquarius is just different. And that's her sun sign too, but you have to understand her sun sign is almost going into the next house, which really you see Pisces looking right at you. So I would say this person may have already, but they have the capacity of alternative loves. Because Pisces in the 5th house, that's somebody that, as long as you love me, or they put the person kind of like on a pedestal. Like, if you love me, I'll love you. And they're really not going to stop and worry about anything else. So that's what Pisces and Aquarius will be saying in regard to the 5th house. And the reason why I'm doing that, because the sun, her sun sign is so close to Pisces. But again, if you notice all these 28s and 0 degrees, it just seems like she will go through a period of a hard rock. What do I mean by hard rock? Somebody that would, you could say abusive if you want to, or rigid. It's either abusive or rigid, but that's kind of forced her at some point in her life to see things a little bit differently. Like, I remember somebody saying that to me all my times when I was younger. Because when I was younger, that's when everything started changing. Like, it wasn't, like, if people were doing certain things, it was in a closet. But it began to change in my younger days, my teenage years and stuff like that. And I remember somebody always saying to me, well, as long as it's love, it doesn't really matter. So that's kind of what these houses are saying by what I'm going. Because it's a period of rigidness, Capricornian, Saturnian, rigidness. But then it's this fight for some type of love. And like I said, it could be past life, because you do see the retrograde with Pluto. And sometimes Capricorn is an old soul, which means past life. So that's why whenever you do a natal chart, remember it's past life. And that's why I just got finished saying patience. Because there's nowhere you're going to ever understand your natal chart or your past lives if you don't have patience. And if all you're focusing on is, what about this? What about my twin? What about that? And you could care less about the rest of the houses and then just talk about my twin. I got an Aquarius that did that, and that was the biggest mistake he made. I said, slow down. Let's do the whole chart. No, I just need the 8th house where the vertex is. I just need to know about my soulmate. I said, but you got to find out. No, I don't need it. And then they jumped into it. It was over within a month or two, destroyed everything because you rushed into it. But then that person came back, and not only did they get one whole natal chart done, they got like 3 other ones done. Because that taught them a lesson. Slow down. A little bit of patience. All right. So now, so even in the 6th house, Pisces again. But see, the reason why Pisces is there in the 6th house is ruled by Virgo. That's your home sector. Service, children, healing, subordinates, co-workers, small animals, small children. But it's going to be spiritual. And then you got Jupiter there, which is ironic because Jupiter used to rule Pisces. If you notice, she has a lot of 27s, a 0 degree, 25s. See, all these implications are later on in life. Even the 28 Mars. It's almost like later on in life, almost like it's going to have to be a period of rigid or challenges or tougher times. But it'll hopefully teach her. So later in life, she'll be able to see a little differently. But now in the 6th house that I described what's in there, you got Mercury. So that's going to be service. So she may even have like I said, that's a teacher. And that could be a home business because this is the home sector, the 6th house. But whatever it is spiritual service, primarily from a home setting. And she's also a good communicator with Mercury, and she can make money doing it because Jupiter's right there. That's why sometimes you have to just stay there. I mean, wherever you're at, but you say, okay, if I can get to a spiritual location with a home setting, I'm guaranteed Jupiter's going to bless me. I just said patience. So that means say you drop 3 or 4 videos. Nothing happens. Keep going. See, that's one thing about me. I'll be talking. It'll be like 1 view, 2 views. But I've watched channels grow. That's why people, they don't know how to figure me out. Oh, who's he talking to? But they don't realize that I had way more views. on different channels. But for whatever reason, I just got rid of them. See, change is good. You should never be afraid of change. That's Uranus. You should never be afraid of change. Things popping up. Because like I said, I know I'm a spiritual person. How can I say I really believe in God if the moment I get some bad news, I just break down? Why is this happening? Throw a fit or something. I get terrified. You got to be ready to walk into the fire if necessary. You got to really, if you're really a spiritual. That's why I say everything I say is not for everybody. Like, you might just want your natal chart for relationships, twin flame, and all that. That's fine. I got no problem with that. Because my job is just to show you what's on it. But some people claim to be prophetic, and some people claim to be spiritual. Well, then I'm going to challenge that at some time. Why don't you act like it? All right. So now we're going up. 7th house. We already did the 7th house. And now that vertex, if you notice, is really at 29 degrees, preparing her for the 8th house. So again, this is high. Whenever you see Taurus, Taurus is highly sensual. So this is a lot of sexuality. So that's why when I gave her her free report, she needs to read the 8th house because everything that's in there, because that's going to be part of her. And also, that's like you could be an agent for other people, manager for other people. And business is always business too. Taurus is also business, the 2nd house. But see, Taurus rules the 2nd house of your money. So you never really want to see Taurus in the 8th house because that means your money is being shared with other people, or other people are actually tapping into your money. And you also have to be careful with Scorpio in the 2nd house because that's other people's money in your money sector, which means you have to be careful because somebody might bring some charges against you, some accusations against you. Ninth house, Gemini, again, why? And Chiron means she has trouble healing with some type of Gemini energy. Some type of Gemini energy. Chiron retrograde means hard to heal. And still dealing with publishing though. Some form of teaching, some form of publishing. Medium Coeli, which is really the career, but that's the family again. But medium Coeli is also your purpose. Wherever you see your true north node, medium Coeli kind of works with that. But this is some type of family. It's still in the business sector. And then Lilith is there as well. All right. So let's look at that quickly. All right. Just give me a moment. It takes a little second now. Now just give me a moment because some of these people, they just go so far. You only want to know about Lilith in the 10th house, so you don't need to know everything about Lilith. This person just saying Lilith in the 10th house may be somebody who actually uses negativity to their benefit. And a lot of your entertainers do that. A lot of stuff you think was beef was really planned. It was marketing. It was a marketing strategy. A lot of those people really get along, but you think they hate each other. Okay, now they say the dark traits of Lilith in the 10th house connect with memories the person has from their parents that was mostly dominant. So that's that Saturn or that Capricorn energy in your chart. The 10th house rules the dominant parent. Usually it's the chart owner's father. And that's ironic because the father or Saturn rules Capricorn, rules the 10th house. So Lilith in the 10th house will kind of somewhat despise authority. So they said if this woman sees any man who has similar traits to her father, she will just dislike him. and says this person may have problems with authority. Because a lot of people say, I forget if it's Lilith in the 10th house or Lilith retrograde in the 10th house, but it can also mean scandal. Like somebody doing stuff they shouldn't be doing and they get caught and they lose. Like, but like they'll be making like maybe good money and stuff, but they'll do something that they shouldn't do on work property or work hours, and they get caught doing it, and they scandal. So they say Lilith in the 10th house may create problems for the employer, disrespect the employer, or sabotage them. So a person with 10th house Lilith is going to have a lust for power and a need to control. But that's all Scorpion anyway. That's all Scorpio. So they'll use their sexuality to seduce people of higher status in order to rise in a social pyramid. Said Lilith can be very seductive. So can Scorpio. And remember, when you're dealing with Lilith or Scorpio or the 10th house, you're still going to be dealing with Taurus because all of this is money. But Lilith does not develop healthy love affairs. So they say in the 10th house, she's going to bring discord. So they just said it's scandals. In some cases, but it's more than some cases. I've got it. It's in a lot of cases. When Lilith is adversely aspected in the 10th house, this native will get involved with scandals. Because that's what I was always taught. They can be sexual, but they can be really any type. So if you got Lilith in your 10th house, you may damage your reputation a little bit by Lilith behavior. But they said if Lilith also knows how to use negative criticism to actually achieve their goals. Because that's what they do out there. Oh, so-and-so got beef with so-and-so. Oh, there were gunshots, and you believe all that. And then you're buying all this stuff, the news, and you're buying all the music and all that. But they're lying to you. They're sitting back laughing. They're cashing them checks in at the bank laughing at you for believing that garbage. So Lilith in the 10th house can be cruel and manipulative. She'll easily step on corpses in order to achieve fame and success. And they don't hesitate to backstab to keep going forward. And this person may be jealous of successful people. Now, like I said, you're dealing with Capricorn energy. This is the 10th house, so this could be past soul stuff, old soul stuff. But anything with Capricorn or Saturn is dealing with karma. Remember that. Because the first thing a person says is, oh, that's not me. I'm nothing like that. Yeah, but you got to realize this could be past life stuff. But they said Lilith in the 10th house is perfect for artistic performers. Because I guess if you're writing scandal and stuff like that. And when you see actresses or artists that use a lot of sexuality, a lot of seduction and stuff, they say they probably have a Lilith in the 10th house, or they're following the advice of someone who has Lilith in the 10th house. And Lilith in the 10th house is a great placement for politicians. So they say she'll even use scandal to bring other people down. Revelation and secrets. So they say the only way you can overcome Lilith's influence is to forgive other people around you and try to practice more lighter energy than Lilith. All right, 11th house, Leo. That's friends, association, groups. This is a fun person around other people, leader around other people. 12th house is Virgo, which is interesting. So the 12th house, they're dealing with your 6th house. Virgo rules the 6th house. So your 12th house is some type of closure, something to do with home, themes, service, young ones, animals, health, co-workers, subordinates. So whatever going on in your sixth house that we already talked about, they're trying to deal with it in your 12th house, and you even have Pisces in your 6th house. So again, it's spiritual. And the goal in the 12th house is to try to deal with anything going on subconsciously, bring it out and reckon with it. Don't hide it. Don't hide it under the carpet, but deal with it. And also to teach other people to have more of that Virgo energy. But don't allow yourself to be used or overtaken by these people. Now, right away, you go to his chart. His first house, like hers, is Libra. Ascendant Libra, East Point Libra, just like hers. So we already told you what a Libra is. Can be idealistic, likes to do things as a couple, likes harmony. The only thing about a Libra, though, if they can't have their way, they may keep trying to push it anyway. Because see, a Libra says, "Oh, I think this is fair. I think this is, harmony. This is the way it should be," and you may not agree. So they may act like, okay, no problem, but they'll keep bringing up. They'll try a sneaky way to keep bringing it up, and that could be a pain in the neck. I dealt with one Leo, but it was funny. I had just learned about Libra, and then I dealt with one, and she was a trip. I mean, she tried she didn't like the reading she got, and then she's trying her best to change it. Don't lie, don't lie. Don't say, oh, that's the information you gave me. Now all of a sudden you don't like the reading, and now you want to try to change the information, thinking that's going to give a better reading. See, when you do that, you can have curses. Like, don't do that. You're messing with the universe. I think some of these people don't understand. You're dealing with people. Whenever you go into all this natal stuff, that's why I'm very careful. You're dealing with people. That's like somebody going into your relative's house and really disrespecting them. That's curses. Like, those people will get you. You don't just make up information and all that crazy stuff. That's why we talking about bubblegum astrology. If you come out here lying to people just to get their money, you're going to pay for that. I wonder if y'all can hear that. Now, y'all know that's not an average jet. What you just heard, that's like a military jet. But every now and then you hear that stuff around here. All right. And that's his money. So he needs a relationship to have money. Whether it's a partnership, business, relationship, helping out, social issues. Yeah, so like I said, so with the Libra, so she just kept coming back. And it was funny because had not I just studied Libra, I wouldn't even know what that meant. But she really was that type of person. Like, she's not going to just accept it is what it is. It's on your chart. That's the way it is. You can't change it. You can't try to manipulate it. And she just kept trying to come back more and more. So you don't want to be annoying. You don't want to be because that's not harmony. That's why I said you have to be very careful. Because see, I question that. Even when they say Mayat is Libra. Mayat is perfect balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine. But do we ever really see that? Do we ever really see perfect balance between divine masculine and divine? Seldom. Some people achieved it, but that's something that really most people don't achieve in third dimension. So I question these things. But that's how that's how you really ascend. That's how you elevate. Because you let the world know, you let the supernatural world know that you're aware of these things, and that's how you ascend. You get more information. All right, so Uranus means he's capable of anything, but it looks like in a good way though. So Neptune and Scorpio in the seventh house means he can be somewhat suspicious or doubtful. And I would strongly tell her to make sure she reads the eighth house because Scorpio rules the eighth house. So he and her got similar problems. Their charts a little backwards. Like where it should be I am, it's we are. Where it should be We are, it's I am. And I wonder how that works out, because that's funny to me. Because somebody might say, well, if they both have I am in the 7th house, that should work out. But I don't know. But that's funny. So Neptune and Scorpio, we're going right back into the whole. See, this is still watery because Neptune rules Pisces. But Neptune can be a doubter, and so can Scorpio. So you would have to get used to somebody maybe not believing you. They can, once they start to trust you, they'll believe you, but it takes a while. And again, his sun sign is right at 1. Is that 1 degree? All right, so his sun sign isn't even in the 11th house. If that's 1 degree, that means that sun sign just made it into that next house. Okay, this is 12, 11, 10. Okay, so his medium Coeli is in the 9th house. Her medium Coeli is in her 10th house, but it's both in Cancer. So his 11th house is about friends, association, and groups. And again, he's there for, just like her, service, health. It's almost like that's their home. They treat these people like, you're members of my home. Service, young children, young animals, subordinates, co-workers. And he has great communication skills. And she has great communication skills in the 6th house, which is ruled by Virgo. He has great communication skills in Virgo, in the 11th house. So that's interesting. And again, whenever Pluto comes, it's just going to be very deep, very transforming. So in other words, the services he offers the people in the 11th house can cause deep transformation because of Pluto. Direct. And they make, with the way this chart looks, it looks like his sun sign is Virgo, but unfortunately it's at 1 degree. Yeah, let me just make sure. Give me one moment. Okay, I see how they're going. Yeah, okay, so it is. It's sun sign Virgo. So he has a lot of Virgo energy, and in his 6th house, there's Pisces, just like her 6th house. And that's his true north node. So at the end of the day, well, let's just keep going for a little bit. So now his 10th house, just like her 10th house, is Leo, right? Is it? See, I'm thinking about the chart I did before this. Her 11th house is Leo. So his 10th house is Leo, and that's the leader. Could be entertainment. And Lilith retrograde definitely means scandal in the 10th house. So that's interesting. See, this is the perfect chart of like two people that are going to have a lot of similarities. And we'll go a little bit deeper. So 9th house is higher self, but again, this could be a foreign family. And Sagittarius can be in-laws too. So even on her chart, she's got Sagittarius. Because Sagittarius can be in-laws, so his... So that, let me do this again. Our 11th house, Leo. Okay, his 11th house is Leo, just like hers. So it's not career, it's just friends and groups and stuff. Now, with Lilith retrograde in the 11th house, it's kind of like a person who feels a certain way. Because the 11th house is friends, association, and groups. But sometimes Lilith retrograde kind of feels like she's being left out. Or she can be very manipulated. Like to make her own stand better, she'll cause problems with other people. Like, so while they're bickering and doubting each other, she'll be gaining more power over the whole. So again, 10th house, medium Coeli. Again, Venus is there, so this is interesting. But again, it has something to do with family, teenage to adult education, land and property, real estate, family and ancestors, or medium Coeli, who is whoever was the person's mother when they were coming up, but that person will be in their subconscious mind. But there, it's all with a Vesta and medium Coeli. A lot of times when Vesta is in the 10th house, it's dealing with that Saturn energy, because we know her chart to the left has a lot of Saturn, Capricorn energy. So a lot of times Vesta shows up to tell the Capricorn or Saturn energy to chill out. And that's what you see in her house. 1, 2, 3, 4. In her 4th house, same thing. Because Venus is saying, hey, don't be so rigid. And Neptune's trying to break the wall down. Because until that wall gets broken down, they're never going to really see Juno. It's not really going to be, it could be a relationship, but it's not going to be based on love, Venus. It's just based on like procedure. Like, this is the right thing to do. You know, I'll be a good man, I'll be a good husband. But he doesn't understand love and all the passion that a woman needs. So that's what you see in her fourth house to the left. And then you see something similar, because it still hit the 4th house. Cancer rules the 4th house. So this would be like a person that would kind of like probably, you know, put the career above the family. Even though you see the family in the 10th house, but he's putting the family above the career. And you even see it because in the 4th house is Capricorn. So he's too business minded and he needs to be more loving. And Vesta is there to change him, because that's like abuse. I'm not saying he's smacking people around, but usually when you see Saturn retrograde, it usually is an abusive person. But Vesta doesn't like abusive men, so she'll always show up. And then Venus is with Vesta to get the love. See, sometimes you see natal charts that are similar and you think they go together. But sometimes it's just a lot of similar energy. I'm not saying they don't. I'm not saying these two charts don't go together, but sometimes it's just similar energy. We already explained the 8th house. And alright, so that's the 9th house. So we'll do that again. What we did, we already explained Gemini in the 9th house. So sometimes, like I said, you see people. Let me just explain it to you. Sometimes a female might meet a dude and they start off as friends, but they really get along as friends, but they're just friends. They really are just friends, because I know a lot of times people say that they're doing more. But then something will happen where they actually go a little bit further. Maybe, you know, they have sex or something like that. But still, they're still confused, because they don't know, like, I don't really know if I want to be with you on that level. And that's why you be hearing the term friends with benefits. Now, when I see a chart like this, it's almost like maybe one of these times is wrong. Because if her, let's say it's her, or if her time is wrong, then that means that her vertex will be more in Taurus and not in Aries. Because these two charts kind of mimic each other a little bit, so that's why I was saying that. So this guy would have some type of soulmate, a twin soul, or some fated event or significant event with Taurus energy. But unfortunately, Saturn retrograde definitely means some type of abuse. And because this is in the 8th house, it can really be explosive, because you're dealing with a lot of explosive energy. And even if you take it to another, like a freakier level, because the 8th house can be freaky, this is the type of person that's into, like, you know, getting whipped and stuff like that. Seventh house of relationships, Chiron retrograde. So something happened there with that Aries energy that makes it hard for him to heal. That's what Chiron retrograde means. His true north node again is some type of spiritual healer or spiritual service, just like hers is. We already explained the fifth house with Aquarius. And when you get back to the fourth house, there's the moon sign. So for him, if I had to say it, I would say it's the mother. But the mother, sometimes a woman could be Capricornian. That's what I would get out of his fourth house. But it might be the father too. It might be the mother, father, who knows. But when I see the moon in Capricorn in the fourth house, I'm assuming his mother was a disciplinarian. She just had that masculine energy. But it kind of, it'll affect him in a different way. Maybe even how he views women. We said the chart on the left, she might view men a certain way because of what she went through. But with him, it might be women he views a different way. And in 0 degrees is Juno. But that's always Novus. See, he wants a serious relationship, but the implication is he might be a little too serious. So Venus and Vesta are trying to, because Vesta works with Virgo, believe it or not. But she's the priestess. So on both of these charts, that Capricorn energy, the universe is trying to get him to lighten up. Now, is it the same person? I have no idea. Okay, so her third house again with Mars. So you're still dealing with that Mars energy, which is going to make it hard to really mature. So he has a lot of aggressive energy, and socially that could be a problem because even with Leo in the let me just make sure. Well, that's Virgo in the 11th. Is that that is this Leo in the 11th house. So all I can do to explain this chart to you, all I can do is what somebody years ago, a woman gave me a chart and she said this guy was her twin, and I looked at that chart and I said, man, there's no way in the world you guys are twin flames. And she didn't go for it, and that she has a right to. She didn't believe it. She didn't go for it. But as time went on, I think over a year went by. She said, "Oh, wait a minute. I was doing a reading, and this card kept coming out, and that the astrological correspondent to that card is this guy I'm with now. So could you do these two charts?" I did, and then I could see. I said, "If anybody's your twin, it'd be this guy, not that other guy." So here, what I see here is a lot of similarities, primarily in outlooks and personalities, a little bit different. So I can see how these two would have some type of fling or some type of buzz, but it's not really like a so. And you see, it might be some type of karmic there because you got a lot of Saturn and Cancer here, 10th house and all that. But and even Saturn in the 8th house, so it's probably some type of karmic connection. I would say karmic debt, but it's not necessarily because they offset each other. And like I said, in a case like that, if her time was like if both their times were known, it would help explain it more better. Like if you're like mostly positive, that's your time. Now, one way we do it, like look at this, you couldn't go to good fortune because a lot of times good fortune will kind of give you an idea. So let me go to good fortune, or good fortune is also called part of fortune, and that's that circle that has the X going through it. And you just gotta excuse me because now this thing doesn't want to work. All right, I don't know why this thing is acting up. Where are we at? Where am I? I don't know why this thing ain't working. All right. Well, at least they gave me. I was looking for good fortune. At least they gave me part of fortune. Same thing, basically. All right. So you're looking for a good fortune in. For her chart, it's good fortune in the 5th house. So good fortune in 5th is somebody likes a lot of adventure, very creative, very emotional, drama, theater, music, literature, inventions, and they need appreciation and applause. All right, good fortune in what? Aquarius. Part of fortune, good fortune, same thing. And Aquarius. Idealistic, innovative. Because sometimes they tell you what moon, but still, like I said, you would still want the correct time. So that's the best I can do. I would definitely say there's some type of karmic connection. Now, what's the karmic debt? Like I said, in your lifetime, you'll meet a lot of people. Like if you ever seen some people be sleeping with everybody, and that all that stuff is soul stuff too. Cause I know for a fact, like some old lady came up to me and she said she could barely see, and she said my name. And when she said my name, I said, "Do I know this old lady?" I like, who this old lady? Like I was working, and she said my name, and then I'll tell you how crazy it gets. Just hear this whole thing, because see another guy works here with the same name as me, but she was calling for him. But she saw me. I was like, well, how does she know my name? I mean, it is on my shirt, but she wasn't nowhere near me. There's nowhere that lady, and she had on some like sunglasses, some crazy. It was just crazy to see. I'm real intuitive. Like I know shit. I know when bad energy's coming around me and shit. Cause I sit there and watch that. You understand? Like I was set up recently. Lady kept blocking the aisle with her cart. She blocked me off one time and immediately. Cause I had a situation with a lady that looked something like her years ago. Same thing. They put you in a situation and just go for you, like to try to chop off your head. Somebody's trying to do that to me right now. Then so then that same lady edged up again, cause I was in the aisle, and I'm at like where I was at was a very isolated spot, but I'm working. So that lady does it with the card again. So I'm watching her in my eyes. I said, and she's the only one doing it. I have intuition. I knew she was like sent. Like people come with energies and stuff. Like I'm on higher. You gotta understand. Some people just want like love stories and stuff. But the bottom line is, it's so much going on in this universe. Even if you were a Christian, they would be telling you about spiritual warfare and stuff. So that's nothing. That's why I wish more people were into what I teach and just not into the simple stuff. Because that's the bottom line. Because I'm going to tell you again, nothing's wrong with love. But I'll tell you like my uncle told me. Nothing wrong with being in love. Just don't be a fool in love. Because you'll be so busy focusing on something that's never working or hurting you. And what you really need is like the spiritual stuff and what they call the ascension. You'll miss it. And it's only going to get worse after that. So that's why I said guys like me, we fight all the time because we're teachers, which means every day we get up, we're helping somebody somewhere is waking up, and you got people that don't want, just like the Matrix. That stuff is real. So so that lady blocked the aisle with the card again. And as soon as I saw her, I already had this feeling. And out of nowhere, I saw somebody in black. Both of these people wore all black. But I saw them out the corner of my eye, and I could feel this was some type of setup. But it was like some type of energy transference and stuff. You got to be careful. It's just stuff who you touch. All kinds of like when somebody come around you, you don't even know and they want to be all touchy feely and all that. Be careful, because that's energy transference. So as soon as that woman said something to me, I just made eye contact with her, but I never smiled. I just looked at her like I'm paying attention, but at the same time, I let her know by any uncertainty, don't try nothing. So that was some higher stuff. So getting back to the old lady, so she asked me. So I said, "Oh no, you need that Gary over there." So I went on about my business. And then my manager called me back up there like later on. This is like hours later because that lady was in the store for a while. So this had to be maybe an hour to hour and a half later. He called me back up there and said, look, I'm going in the back. This old lady's coming back. When she comes back, blah, blah, he said something, but I was listening, but not really. I just said, I'll wait till she comes back. So then she came back again, and she's still talking to me, and she's still telling me how she knew my name and all that crazy stuff. But then she says to me, which nobody ever does. She's like, you want some candy? And she gave me candy. But it's funny because I'm not supposed to be eating candy. Not right now because my blood level is high. So it's almost like it was assassination right there and stuff. There's some other stuff, some other weird stuff happened with her. But this is stuff that I remember one time I was in this store again. It's a long time ago, and this old lady walked by early in the morning. It's a food store, and she walks by and she says my name. She says like hi, but says my name. I'm like, how does this old lady know my name? And why is she talking to me? So a lot of weird stuff happens, and like a lot of stuff. Sometimes you see people, but they're not people. Those are like angels and stuff. That's why I hear too many cases where somebody says, I was walking and somebody asked me for some money and I said no. And then I felt guilty and I came back out to give them some money. But when I came back out, they were gone. And there's no way them people could have got away that quick. So it is what it is. These are everyday things that happen. So on this chart, that's what I'm seeing. Karmic connections through Saturn energy, through Capricorn energy. And it could be some type of family connection because you keep seeing Cancer. Because like I said, the female that turned me on to Durga, the Indian goddess, I think Mia has some type of like connection. But of a family stage, like a past life family connection. So if anything, that's more or less what I'm seeing here. But of course, if you feel it, you're going to know it's a real feeling. Because if you're intuitive, you know. But I just see it more like that. Because like one of these people could have been the father in the past life. But the problem here was too much rigid Saturnian and Capricornian. And now with that person would have to one of the depths they have that I explained everything else. But one of the depths they have is to not be so rigid in this life. And again, to give love a chance. Instead of trying to maybe doubt it or control it. Or, you know, trying to tell you, well, yeah, I want love, but I want it like this. Sometimes you just got to let it go. And again, whenever you're dealing with Saturn energy, you're dealing with impatience and stuff. You got to learn how to be patient. So that's how I get from the information given to me. That's what I get for this chart. Again, we have all kind of things going on. We do anything, just so you know. And there's so much you can learn on your natal chart, but it doesn't have to be natal chart. We do the Archangel card readings. Anything that's paranormal, stuff like that. Some people ask me questions. I'm able to look at the natal chart, get answers. We do readings, the card readings, get answers. Like it's anything that's considered paranormal or supernatural, we do. We also do research for people that have questions for research. But we do have the services offered price list. All this stuff is in the description box. You can ask. Some people want to get started on the natal chart. It's just a matter of going right in the description box because it's all there. For your natal chart, all you need is your date of birth, month, day, year, write it out. Because if you go 7/11/94, that's if you were in Britain, your 7/11/94 is not our 7/11/94. So don't make sure you write out July 11, 74 or November 7, 70. Write it out. If you don't have your time, we ask the Archangels. They do a great job because you definitely would need your time. City, state, and country that you were born in. If it's USA, you don't have to write USA because it would be kind of self-explanatory. But if it's somewhere else, make sure you write it in. And they also ask gender. It has to be male or female because there's no third spots or anything like that. And we get real started. As fast as we get started, faster you can have it back. All right, this concludes this video. God bless.